Hello, good afternoon, folks. My name is Nicholas from Keep the Heat here in Blantyre, and I'm joined today by my friend Paul, who's going to talk a little bit about his experience in coming to Keep the Heat. So, what I would ask you is, if it's the first time tuning in, Keep the Heat is a men's mental health group, and really that's a kind of quite a broad brush. We're a group of men that meet every second Sunday in our rooms here at the Blantyre Soccer Academy, and talk with a view to improve mental health. And we're a broad range of people from different backgrounds. So we meet every second Sunday. Today is a meeting day, 2 o'clock till 4 o'clock at the BSA Hub, and all's welcome. We've got a Facebook page with Messenger and that sort of stuff. It'd be me you would message on that if you're interested in coming and want to get a wee bit more information. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Paul here. Paul.
Thanks, Nicky. Yeah, nice to be here.
Thanks for coming along.
Thank you.
So tell us, and the folks back home there, how did you come along to Keep the Heat? What was happening? How did you hear about it, that sort of stuff?
So I joined Keep the Heat in February 2024, so it's about a year and a half ago. So before Keep the Heat, I guess I was getting a bit bored with just doing the same stuff with my mates and going to the pub, and I was looking for something else. So I went to, there's a group over in Cathcart called Men's Talking,
right.
And so I went there for a couple of meetings, and it was a lovely group, some really nice guys. The facilitator was great, but what I kind of felt was the guys, it was a nice meeting, good camaraderie, but there was nothing really going on out with the group.
Right.
So it was a wee bit further away travelling, because I'm Uddingston, so but I was looking in Facebook and I saw Keep the Heat, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give that a go to go along and see what's happening. So the Men's Talking group was great, but I was looking for something deeper, a deeper connection, and something that, we could have meetings but also do something out with the meetings. So that was, for me, that was attraction of coming to Keep the Heat.
I turned 50 during the lockdown, right? And obviously I turned 20, 30 and 40, right? And I didn't really think much of it, but I think that turning 50, they sent me a thing through the post to check my toilet, right? And I realised I was immediately on a medical watch list turning 50.
I've had that as well.
It depressed me. But I think something happened to me. I kind of wandered in here, a pal of mine that was going through a rough time in his life, having had a history of being sober for years and years and years. Can you identify with that? Are you over 50?
I'm over 50, and so I'm not in recovery. So for me, the group is a very open group, and as you said, it's men's mental health and well-being. But for me, coming to the group, there's people from all different backgrounds, different ages. That there's guys in their 20s, there's guys touching on 70, and everything in between. But so I'm not in recovery, but I've got experience of family members but in recovery, and I think to me it was more. I think just feeling that, looking for real friendship and honesty, and just something different with guys, less surface level. So for me, I think it's been a humbling experience coming to Keep the Heat. That it's a wide range of guys. I've learned lots of things from different people, and I think, just as I say, humbling that people, some folk are going through struggles with alcohol or drugs, but there's other people going through struggles with loneliness, or struggles with relationships or jobs or health, whatever it is. But I think we're all different, but we're all kind of similar. We're all inside. we've got struggles, you know, of some sort. So for me, it's nice that the group is so open. People, you know, there's a real trust in our bond within the group. So I think that honesty, you know, in sharing in an open forum, that's quite different for me, and I think that's been refreshing for me. Just that honesty, and people listen and look out for each other.
I've made an awful lot of good friends. My partner talks about that.
Yep.
You know, and I says that I was coming today to be the quiz master with you, so she's your pal Paul.
Yeah.
Right. And it's been quite it's been real solid. That's the conversation between last night and this morning, the quality of friends. So I think everybody in the group would like to know, Paul, is there anybody, have you made friends with anybody whose name rhymes with prick and is a bit of a one? You can tell.
It's a bit of a personal question.
There's
obviously a couple.
Obviously, I'm not the only Nick.
There's obviously a couple of Nicks in the group.
I know.
So,
I'm not trying to be controversial. You know, I'm not trying to encourage views here.
There's obviously a few Nickies, but I don't want to single out anyway.
Nick the Prick. Nick the Prick and Dave the Rave. I know. This is the thing. One of the greatest things that ever happened to me in Keep the Heat was getting a nickname.
Yeah.
Nicky Biscuits. We have a table that's like 4 tables joined together, and they put the turnips tea cakes in the middle of the table, just on the opposite side of the table, and I leaned over to get them, but I was just out my reach. I had to sort of swim across the table to get them, and everybody's seen it, and from that point on I was called Nicky Biscuits. But I felt included, you know what I mean? So, but a big part of it, you talked about it, Paul, was the other stuff.
Yeah.
And that's really what makes the difference.
Yeah, so for me, I think when I come into the group that, you know, people kind of say polite things to you, or if I'm going out, or, you know, maybe come along, and it doesn't happen, but I remember Chris from Keep the Heat, I came to a meeting, and he'd just done a hill walk, and I says to Chris, I would love to do a hill walk, and Chris says, well, why don't we do it next weekend? And so we did. So we went over to Arica, we went up the Cobbler, which is quite a high hill,
isn't it?
And so me and Chris and a few others did it, and I loved it. And we were it was the 4 seasons. It was actually snowing at the top when we got to the top of the Cobbler, but I loved it, and it was out there, all the elements, but with great camaraderie, great banter. It was a good laugh. We went up the hardest route, unbeknown to us.
Is that the one that goes through a kind of rock and up the other side?
Aye, but we went the steep climb up, and it was hard going, but at the end of it, we got to the top, and it felt great. You know, it felt really nice. So for me, I guess that friendship of saying, come on out, give it a go, that gives you a wee bit of confidence, and I guess it's good, you know, it's good that other people are actually, it's not just saying things, but they're prepared to bring you in and encourage you.
How many Monroes have you done?
Aye, so since I did the Cobbler, that's inspired me to do other hill walks and onto Monroes.
Aye.
So Monroes are any big hills over 3,000 feet, 900 odd metres. But since the first walk I did with Chris, the Cobbler, I've done 25 Monroes.
And from that day forward, we called you Bagger Paul.
But for me, it's like I didn't really have the confidence to go out and do it, you know. But now I do it myself. I'll go a hill walk. I'll do a Monroe myself, or I'll go out with other guys, other people. So
we talked about it the last time. The time we went to Ben Nevis, how we stayed in wee kind of hut things, and it was kind of like 2 bunks to a hut, so you just naturally gets that Peter, right, I'll bunk with you, but all of us are all kind of new friends type of thing, but there's a kind of camaraderie in that you're right in the, up in the morning, you're first in the, there wasn't a shower, it was just you.
I think the 2 Nicks were together from memory.
I was in with Jim.
You with Jim?
I
was in with Chris.
And Chris, with Chris, that was a laugh. That was the time we went. I went into the visitor centre to use the toilet, and we got there, right, and just this kind of daftness on the way back out. I says, "All right, boys, I bought the tickets to walk up Ben Nevis. I bought the tickets and my card. If you want to give me the cash." And Paul went to put his on his pocket. I went like, "I'm kidding you on. They've no taxed that yet." And we met guys.
That was my gullible side coming out.
He's the best straight man. I mean, it's the best straight man in the business. The best if you get bad jokes like me.
But the Ben Nevis experience for me was a highlight. So obviously the highest mountain in Scotland, the highest place in the UK actually. But me, Jim, Chris, and yourself. I think it was about 6.5 hours up, right. And it was again we got all the weather. But we got to the top and we had a great time. But coming down, me, Chris and Jim were all knackered. We were dragging our feet on the way down. But then yourself, you saw some fell runners coming down the mountain. So you decided, rather than just drag your feet with the boys, you thought you'll join in with the fell runners. So for me, that was the funniest thing ever. We are totally knackered, but you're still ready to go and joining in a race down Ben Nevis. I've
never the chance to get a sedentary job. I was in the toilet as well, and there was nettles everywhere. So here it was brilliant. But the thing as well is, it's as if you're together in the middle of nowhere. We are together in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
But there's a kind of intimacy that happens. There's a kind of bond. You're on this climb together, and the conversation seems to have no borders. Yeah. It seems to be one of those places. I was talking before, my brother-in-law.
You're in nature. It's just calm. Everything's easy.
You're in the moment. You're doing something. You're concentrating where you're putting your feet. Which is like that Eckhart Tolle, the power of now. It's dragging you, and some of those meditation and breath work
just
that we
present,
do. I've been present.
Enjoy the moment.
Really, right now, is there anything the matter? No, me and you are having a conversation. There's the things here, and as I said at the start here, we're having a conversation that people can then listen to, right? And hopefully there's somebody. My girlfriend was telling me that it was someone that we know, but loosely, just took their own life. And some of the sort of kind of what we know around about that, and it's isolation. There's isolation there.
But there's groups that keep the heat. That it's open to all men, and no matter their background. It's a friendship group.
That's it. And I'm not saying that we're kind of complete miracle workers, but miracles happen, you know what I mean? And so this is a conversation that others can, and hopefully, maybe see it and say, what's going to happen,
And there's things like the hill walking, anyone can do that from the group, but some people it's not their thing. But we've done, since being in Keep the Heat, we've take part in football tournaments, we've been out for nice meals with the guys. I've taken up running, going out running with the guys. I remember running round Strathclyde Park, which is just over 5k in the winter, and it was me, Chris and Jim, and we were kind of sliding all over the place, but we had a great time. It got us out the house on a cold day, and but all these things, so that there's something for everybody. You don't need to do like running but the big thing for me, the other inspiring thing for me was I'd never really been one for the cold water, right? But see, joining Keep the Heat, I've been in rivers, I've been in reservoirs, I've been in lochs,
Christmas Day,
been in Irvine Sea with the guys, and see the cold water. You said about that, the feeling in the hills, you know, your nature, but I get the same feeling in the water. You're just calm and relaxed, and you're breathing, and going with a group of guys, it's nothing better. So for me, the cold water, I think that's been a game changer, and we're lucky within the hub here in Blantyre that outside we've got a cold water tank.
So much illness is inflammation in it.
Absolutely, but we've got water and logs all around, so as a group I think that's a great thing for people to enjoy the nature and the cold water as well.
My son met your son at university.
Yeah.
He says he was a very good looking guy. And
like his dad.
Like, a bit like his dad, aye.
Same as your boy.
Too right. The apple does not fall too far from the orchard. What are you going to say? Is it only one son you've got?
I've got one son, I've got two daughters.
Two daughters, and your missus. And have they noticed a difference in Dad since he's went to Keep the Heat?
I think they have.
Activities.
I think just in, I guess I've decided to come off alcohol, so about a year I've been off alcohol, and I think just looking after myself a bit more mentally, and also in terms of diet and exercise. So I think they've definitely noticed. But for me, I think it's I guess it's given to the group, and also I guess there's a lot of I guess within the group, people are supporting each other. So even within the group, there's people that have had dips from time to time, and it's really just there to support each other. So I think that's been a really good thing as well, that as we get to know each other, that not just in the meetings but out with, if people needs a little bit of help or encouragement. But I think Keep the Heat, it's kind of like what's where are we going, as an organisation and a group. That's definitely something I'm thinking about as well.
We welcomed a few new people there the past few weeks, but obviously it's a good group, and we're here and we're free, and it's a great facility for people that need it when people need it the most. It'd be good to get the message out there. Finally, Paul, I've really enjoyed this conversation, but not to go on I could talk for the rest of the day, but you've had an awful lot out meditation, as have I, but you've also went to retreats and stuff, which I was quite jealous of. Yeah,
so I guess again over the last few years I've done some retreats, and again that's not something I would have thought about in the past. I would have thought that's not for me, or things like yoga or meditation. But I guess for me, mindfulness or meditation, it's really just closing your eyes and just going inwards and just relaxing, using your breath to relax. So, but we've been lucky within the group. We've done some sessions like breath work, and we've done acupuncture, and we've done sound meditation. So, I think for me, I've been lucky to. I've done some courses in mindfulness, but that's the next thing for me is going on to learn learn more about it, and ideally coming back to the group to help teach a little bit of mindfulness as well within the group. So, but for me, I think Keep the Heat is kind of it's on the up. It's a great thing within the community, and it's open for all men, as I say, to join in.
Was it a place in the Borders you went to?
Down to Sammy Ling, which is a Buddhist monastery down at the Borders. But I actually took some of the Keep the Heat guys down to it, but you can visit it. They've got a lovely tea shop, lovely grounds, but it's so you actually get Buddhist monks live there all year round, but they hire out facilities. But it's a beautiful place to visit. The grounds, the gardens, everything's chilled, everything's calm.
Did you hear about the young Buddhist that said to the Buddhist master, "Is it alright if I get an email?" And the old Buddhist says, "As long as it doesn't come with attachments." folks, thanks for tuning in. Nicholas and Paul, have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thank you.